listening to music on my last nighttime drive? Had I been behind the wheel? Alone? Of course, I had to pay a vehicle storage fee, $600-some. I used a credit card that my keepers had been considerate enough to leave in my wallet while they'd safeguarded it for me. Driving home, I passed a flickering yellow sign and felt a sting of excitement as I parked. The promise of a new liquor store. "I'm looking for bourbon. You got Blanton's?" "No." The guy at the counter didn't look up from a black-and-white television the size of a clock radio. A cigarette dangled from his lips, supporting an impossible length of ash. I couldn't see the screen, but a reporter was providing updates about some schmuck who had the same name as me. "Knob Creek?" I asked. He shook his head. "Makers?" His eyes pulled over to me, snagged for a beat. "Jack Daniels." I could have pointed out that Jack Daniels is Tennessee sour mash, not bourbon, but I figured that my first stand back in the world should be over something of greater consequence. Box wine, maybe. "Single barrel?" "Yeah, we got the single barrel." I felt his stare on my back as I left the store. 2 minutes later, I was on Mulholland Drive. The asphalt vine clung to the ridgeline of the Santa Monicas, shooting tendrils north through the valley to the Santa Anas and south into the LA basin. On its eastern stretch, tourists pull over to snap shots of Hollywood writ large in white block letters. Persian palaces and mutant Pueblo revivals perch along crests and hillsides, hiding behind gates and rock walls. It's a dangerous road, soaked in affluence and romance, home to the breached guardrail, the meandering Marlowe, the David Lynch fantasy, the 2 a.m. drunken head-on. You'll drive it too fast and be glad you did. Tonight I went the speed limit, figuring I'd had my fill of problems. I rode Mulholland West, banking downslope just before the 405 and easing right off the stop sign. My cul-de-sac was as it always was, pinprick lit with porch lamps and walkway goosenecks, the freeway distant enough to sound like sighing waves. My house was unlit, but I paused to recognize its contours. Despite my absence, it looked the same. Richard Neutra on a budget. Steel, glass, and concrete rise of intersecting planes and right angles that came together nicely but fell short of elegant. After my third book deal, I'd begged, borrowed, and borrowed to catch the lip of the ever-receding tide that is LA's real estate market. I'd paid too much, but the million-dollar view tacked on to the abrupt backyard consoled me in that. If I couldn't afford it before the trial, I sure as hell couldn't now. There were no news crews camped on my front lawn, no paparazzi hiding in seedy cars, no Geraldo Rivera in camo gear and full mustache ready to pounce. I pulled into the garage, plucked the jar from the cup holder and the brown paper bag from the back seat, and headed inside. It felt odd to be carrying so little after so long. No suitcases, no carry-on, just the clothes I was wearing, a bottle in a bag, and a brain tumor in a jar. I'd been gone 4 months, but the familiarity was undiminished. The catch of the opening door as the weatherboard scraped the threshold. The particular scent of the interior, a layered blend of carpet and tile, coffee and candle wax. Objects I'd bought, choices I'd made. The emotion rising through my chest broke the instant the door closed behind me. Alone in my house, I finally wept, standing, head bowed, tears dotting the floor at my feet despite the hand I'd clamped over my eyes in a futile attempt to keep the anguish from flooding out. I don't know how long I stood there shuddering, but when I removed my hand, the overhead light made me squint. I trudged through my kitchen with its stainless appliances and teak cabinets, through the entryway with its repetitive war halls that even I'd tired of long ago, past the wide staircase.